What's going on, YouTube? So today we're going to be doing something a little different. Now usually, when I make these YouTube videos, I'm usually outside working on a car, doing something along the lines of with my car. Um, but in terms of content, I really don't have any long form content for you guys right now. So what we're going to start doing is start reacting to other people's car content. So that way you guys still get some content from me. Other people get to show off their content, and we just go from there. Hopefully you guys enjoy. Please hit that like and subscribe button, and without further ado, let's get into it. Alright guys, so today we're going to be watching the Backspeed Boys. I know they're personally one of my favorite channels. They have a lot of great content on their channel, and their builds are almost always unique, almost always insane, and they really think outside the box. So the reason why we're picking this video today is because this video is about building a 500 horsepower daily driver, and that daily driver is going to be a 440i, which is what we have. So maybe we could take a few mods from this. Maybe we don't know something about the car. Who knows? So we're going to be checking this out.
Today we're going to completely transform my BMW 440i. All mods, all in one video. Now this B58 car is the absolute best modern BMW on the market right now. With plenty of classic samples hovering around that $10,000 mark. And you could have basically the same car as the new Supra or M340i. And with the new Supra and M340i still being over...
Side note guys, what do you think is the best B58 engine? Me, I'm biased. I think the 440i Gen 1, but actually, I've heard that the Mark V Supra M240i is a more popular one. I've even heard the 540i, which I personally think is probably the worst B58 motor, or B58 chassis, I should say. But let me know in the comments what you guys think is the best B58 chassis.
Double and triple the price of a slightly clapped 440i or 340i, this makes it a no-brainer. The B58 is known as being one of the most reliable BMW engines, as well as one of the easiest to build high horsepower on a budget, which also makes it the most glazed BMW engine of all time. But is it deserving of all that glazing? Today we're going to transform my bone stock, slightly clapped 440i and hopefully answer that question.
Okay, first mods up is carbon fiber. You can't have a race car, you can't have a proper modded car without carbon fiber. Does carbon fiber make your car go faster? Abso-fucking-lutely. Everyone knows that. Now, the real reason you use carbon fiber is for weight savings. It's much lighter and stronger than a lot of other materials, especially aerodynamic materials. Now, these things we're going to be adding to the car. So technically we're adding weight. So it won't really make the car faster, but it's going to make it look cool, and that's all that matters. We got
Carbon fiber always makes the car look cool.
These slide right over the existing grills. This thing is so light, it's so delicate, like I feel like I could break it so easily. So we're going to slide that over. We got side skirts. Got to get the side skirts. We got the front lip. This is going to help fill out the front end of the car. Just give it that more aggressive.
What's your guys' take on aero? I've seen a lot of people say that. I've seen a lot of people do like one aero but not all the other arrows, meaning like someone will put a front lip but not complete the full set, like a side skirt, a spoiler. What do you guys think about that?
Stance while also being tasteful with the carbon fiber. We're not going to go overboard and make every part of the car carbon fiber like some people do, but just enough to make it look pretty good. You might be wondering, where's the spoiler? The car already has a carbon fiber spoiler on it right now, so we're good there. But let's start installing these. Okay, let's put the front lip on. So like most carbon fiber, getting it to fit is a little tricky, but a mix of a bunch of set screws and 3M tape and we should be good to go. time for the carbon fiber grills. Let me just put that over there. Oh man, it's stuck on accident. Don't worry, it's got 3M tape on it. Those aren't coming off. There we go. The car has carbon fiber. It's basically a supercar now.
I'm not gonna lie, I can't even see the difference, but carbon fiber always looks better.
Okay guys, I just want to take a quick second and show you a little teaser of our new project car. We just picked this bad boy up. This is, if you know, you know, this is an enthusiast-based BMW right here. You're gonna have to wait to see everything we're gonna do to it, but we picked it up for 1,100 bucks. And actually, quick reminder, our Patreon members actually are the ones that picked this car. We put a poll up on our Patreon about a week ago, and you guys wanted another 5 Series on the channel. So we went out and found the most clapped out 5 Series possible. And you might be thinking, how'd you buy it so cheap? Well, there is one little catch I want to show you guys. It's not all rainbows. Yeah, it doesn't run. So make sure to tune in to see if we can get this thing running, and go check out our Patreon. From this point forward, a lot of our builds are going to be chosen by our Patreon members. So if you want to get in on the action and help us spend our money, the link is in the description. All right, back to the video.
Well, now it's time to start modding the car. Now, before we get to our first few mods, I want to quickly show you guys, we got a new exhaust for it. This is an actual BMW exhaust. As you guys know in the last episode, when I bought this car, the cheapest 440 M Sport X Drive on the market, it had a Nissan exhaust on it.
That's crazy. Yo, that's
which is
actually
crazy.
Nissan.
That means that the dealer, at some point, maybe it had an aftermarket exhaust and they had to put a muffler on, and they put a Nissan exhaust on with terrible welds. It was just hacked together like a Frankenstein car. Now, I went to the dealer and I said, listen, you guys are gonna put a BMW exhaust on because I bought a BMW. I paid a BMW price, I want a BMW exhaust. And they said, sorry, bud, like that's just the way it goes. You know, you buy the car as is, it is what it is. Now, I wasn't gonna let that slide. I told them, listen, I'm not asking, I'm telling you, you're gonna put a BMW exhaust on. And I played the tough guy routine, and I thought, you know, they're not gonna do it. I was bluffing out my ass. But you know, you gotta at least try. So I kept calling every day and I said, listen, I'm not asking, I'm telling you, you're going to put a BMW exhaust on. I was nice. Trick number one, don't be a Karen. Be nice, but be assertive. And the service manager said, well, you know, it's not against their policy. They can't be doing that. I didn't take no for an answer. I simply said, I'm not asking, I'm telling you. When I come pick up the car tomorrow, because the shifter was broken and they agreed to replace that, I said, when I come pick it up, I want a BMW exhaust on it. I was about to give it, you know, 3 more tries, then I was gonna give up. I was bluffing, like I always do. And what do you know? I get a call the next day. Mr. Noah, we ordered the parts from BMW. It's gonna take a few more days, but we're gonna put a BMW exhaust on it. But the moral of the story is that everyone in this world is trying to fuck you. Everyone's trying to take advantage of you, especially when you go to dealers and you buy cars from dealers. And so many people,
yeah, you guys gotta watch out for that.
They just let people walk all over them. And that's how I was able to get a BMW exhaust. By the way, I had them send me the receipts for every part and everything, and I looked it up on the BMW website. We're looking at about like $1,600 worth of parts, plus, you know, the labor of putting it on. So big money right there. One of the things that's cool about this is that this is the BMW Sport exhaust. It has a valve inside the muffler. You can see there's a wire right here. So basically in the higher RPMs, that valve opens up, makes it a little bit louder. It's a little bit more sporty. You know, not too many cars have that. The Nissan exhaust definitely didn't have it. So I'm glad I was able to get what I wanted. Okay, it's time to do some performance mods on the 440. And what we've got is, of course, the big old downpipe from our friends over at ARM. They also hooked us up with a turbo inlet and a cold air intake. So this is important as well. If we want to see more power, already a turbo engine, you got to let more air in and more air out. It's as simple as that.
That's a
so
fact.
The basic downpipe tune intake combo we've got coming right up. Everyone knows the B58 makes infinity horsepower. Just ask it.
Yo, what intake should I get, guys? I really want a front mount intake, but I can't justify spending a... Well, I mean, I guess I could justify it, but I want a big turbo the car, or a big single turbo. So I'm saying big single like it's not already a single turbo. I'm trying to get a big single top mount turbo. So therefore, you know, me having a air intake doesn't really make sense right now. But I mean, if you guys want to see me put an intake in there, let me know which one. I can't decide on which one. So
Any 12-year-old will tell you it's basically a super swapped M4, guys. Let's be real. Why buy an M4 when you could get the car that has the Supra motor, the new Supra motor in it? It's basically the 2JZ on BMW steroids.
hey, yo.
So let's make enough torque to twist the chassis. Okay, basically we got a few steps to follow to make it simple, easy breeze. These are all easy mods that a monkey could do. Remove the intake, remove the downpipe, new downpipe in, the turbo inlet, and the air intake. Let's get to chopping. So pull this right off. Oh, there we go. Remember guys, these cars are basically a giant Lego. Look how filthy it is. Mass airflow sensor disconnected. Put this over here. Very important piece right there. I already unclipped this, so we'll just pull this out. There we go. Look at that air filter right there. Honestly, not terrible. Okay, remove that. What do we got here? We got our little teriyaki titty twister right there. Our little Beijing blowhole. Our Wuhan war whistle. You can see we got our downpipe right there. Oh, motherfuck. Oh, it's still a little bit hot. We gotta wait a little bit longer for that. I just put it on the lift. Okay, so we got the turbo inlet. We'll probably take that piece off first. And then charge pipe is right here. It's so simple, it's all right here. I mean, you know how many cars we've worked on where parts are so hard to get to? That's what's great about this is, yeah, it's not a twin turbo V8, it's just an inline six, but it's so easy, how easy it is to get to these parts. So as much as I love our...
Yeah, it definitely is a lot easier, especially just coming to the BMW platform. All of the parts that I had to install on the 440, it's literally like all right there. Like there's, and it doesn't look like there's much space, but there's so much space in that engine bay for you to work around. I mean, the only big job that I had to actually take stuff out for was maybe the downpipe, but all I had to do was take out the air box, the charge pipes. Yeah, you took out the air box, the turbo inlet, but other than that, it's literally all right there.
Our N54 335 that we had, that car is a real bitch to get to things. This is like so much easier. The inlet on that was super hard. The inlet on this, super easy. And I'm glad we got an upgraded inlet because that's gonna help the turbo make louder noises. And who doesn't love turbo noises? Okay, and here we go. So I had to disconnect it because that was a little bit of a bitch to pull out. You got these hoses with these types of clamps, which are absolute bitches. They love to break, and this thing is
definitely are.
BMW wants a crazy amount for these things. It's insane.
Insane.
And then this piece, pulling it out, it was just mainly those pieces.
I freaking broke mine, and
those clamps off, and then trying to get it to all.
I think it was like 50, 60 bucks to replace.
There you go. There's the front of the turbo
from
right
FCP.
there. So we're gonna install a bunch of bigger turbo inlet, so you could see how much more air could flow through this one than this one. And this is the aftermarket one. This has some like baffling in it, and this is to help quiet the turbo so that when the old grandma is driving this car, she doesn't have to hear the turbo noises. But me, I want to fucking hear all the turbo noises. This has no baffling in it at all. So
I definitely need to get a
go in there
turbo
nicely.
inlet too.
Look at this hose, such a weird looking hose. It looks like a ginger root. Basically that's so that those hoses could connect. But you got all kinds of vacuum things and, you know, BMW shit. This thing has just been a complete pain in the ass.
Oh my god.
This is the charge pipe. Now,
the charge pipe, you literally, like, once you take it out, you have to like literally twist it, pull it, freaking yank it. Oh my god, it's actually insane. Like, you really have to like maneuver it through all of those vacuum lines and wiring right there. That's probably like the hardest part, and maybe putting it back in, but Jesus, man.
We got a new charge pipe right here. This isn't going to give us any horsepower.
It took me a little while to get that out. Maybe like a good 5 minutes.
It's going to protect us from getting horsepower losses.
Just because I wasn't trying to break anything.
This is plastic. You're throwing a ton of boost through it, and you create boost leaks. So you have all the guys claiming to make all this horsepower, but in reality they're not, because they have a boost leak. And this is, you know, pretty much every used Beamer, clapped out Beamer, probably has a boost leak somewhere. all the ones you see on fucking Marketplace, and you know, they claim it's 600 horsepower and it feels like 300. It's a boost leak. So to prevent the boost leak, one of the most common ones is trading your plastic charge pipe for a metal one. It's all nice machines, aluminum. It's very strong. It's not going to crack under a bunch of compressed air. But this is the first thing we got to install before we install the turbo inlet or the air intake. We got to do this first because this goes right there, right underneath the turbo inlet. Okay, downpipe completely disconnected. Now's the fun part of trying to get it out of the car. So obviously it's taking a little bit longer than I'd like. Oh, I actually just got it out of the hardest part. Now,
yeah, those two hooks, it's definitely very hard to get those out of.
Not hit the O2 sensor, because that would be bad. Okay, we have to take the plate off. And there we go.
So he did his with
some money
the
right
O2
here.
sensor still in there.
So,
I did mine's. I took the
throw it
O2
away
sensors
yet.
out first, which
So
made it a little
that's
easier.
the old one. This is the new one. This piece is actually much bigger, and but it's much shorter in length. This part's much longer. So basically, it's going to be all shiny chrome. But the most important part is that it's going to be free flowing. Now the cats absolutely kill turbo cars in terms of power. One of the greatest ways to really build up that power is, you know, either a high flow catted downpipe or just a catless downpipe. So that's what we got here. Okay, time to put the new downpipe in. So it's got the O2 sensors in tight. We got the V-band right there. So let's go put it in. So we got to fish it up here.
Oh, actually, I lied. I did take it out with the O2 sensor.
Okay, the downpipe is in. As you can see, it's all
I
tightened.
definitely
Everything,
lied.
all the brackets, good to go. Very simple.
But
Easy
I'm assuming
job.
you can
That's in.
just
now next
take it
up
out
is doing the
without
charge pipe before we
having
get
to
into
connect the
anything
O2
else.
sensors.
We got this upgraded charge
It
pipe
might
right
still be
here.
a little easier.
It's made of metal, so it won't burst. The bottom piece is already in, connected to the turbo. And now I get to put the most important part. This is the part with the sensors in it. You have to be very careful. This is the component that creates boost leaks. Now with this one, I have 3 little ports. I could use this for nitrous. I could use this for meth injection. I could use this if I want to run an analog boost gauge. I could basically use these for all kinds of things. And there's 3 of them. But you got to make sure that they're tight, that they got silicone around them or something, because you don't want any boost leaks. So here we go. Let's just throw this on there. That's in. Now we gotta put these bolts in.
Everybody knows about those couplers. Those things are a pain.
Okay, now that the downpipe is installed, the charge pipe is installed, we gotta get the turbo inlet, which is this piece right here. It's all built, ready to go. These sensors out of the way. Okay. Now, before we put the intake on, while we're at it, might as well swap out the coils, spark plugs, gap them for the increased boost. Of course, you gotta pull out like half the car right there so you could access the rear ones. That's why the whole car is right here. But yeah, those rear coils, because the engine sits so far back, you gotta have access to that. So you gotta pull that apart. Our friends over at Turner Motorsport hooked us up with some beautiful performance ignition coils and spark plugs. So we're all set to go. These are great, they look cool. They're blue, which is pretty cool. Gonna go with the vibe of this car. But basically, I don't know how old these ones are, but we might as well just replace them. And on top of that, while you're doing all the bolt-ons and going full bolt-on, you gotta gap those spark plugs a little bit differently for boost, which we're gonna do. So if we're gonna get to the spark plugs and pull these coils out, might as well just swap them out. Now we got some performance ones, deliver a hotter spark, which means more horsepower. So we just pull this one right out, undid the 1 bolt holding it on. Now we gotta extract that spark plug down in that little hole. Okay, we pulled out the spark plug and it is toast. Good that we're getting a good replacement in there. So we got the new one. So let's gap it. Okay, the new spark plug's in. Now I'm just gonna slide this bad boy on. Okay, so all the coils are in. They're all tight, new spark plugs, everything's gapped. We're ready to twist some chassis here. Now we gotta put the cold air intake on. It's got a little box. What you don't want is a hot air intake. And if you just have an intake, well, the heat from the air is gonna get it. So that's why we have a box that's gonna protect it. And if you look right here, there's a duct. And this duct goes to right here. So there's a passageway that goes like this into this little duct. And we're gonna put a box with the intake in, so it'll all be free flowing. It'll be open to the point where we can hear the turbo noises. But basically it's going to be extracting cold air from the front of the car. If you do a hot air intake, you know, you could possibly lose a lot of power. And we experienced a lot of that when we were doing the LS swap in the Jag, trying to really configure the perfect intake, because once you see those hot air temps, it'll pull timing and you lose horsepower. So you really want to make sure you're getting the coldest air possible. Okay, so the intake is installed. Basically,
that's why a lot of
very
people
small
go
intake. It goes to this corner. We got the
not
cold
fender,
air
but,
box,
well,
basically
Veer,
preventing
the Mustang
heat from
platform, the fender,
exhaust.
the PMAS
got that
fender
little
well.
duct right there that pulls
But
air
this
from
one,
up
the
here.
front mount
so it
intakes.
is indeed a cold air intake, but
that goes
we need
into
to
like the
top it
front
off
grills
with a cover, so that way it's only pulling air from right here and no heat, you know, goes around from the top. So we got that one right there. So we got the upgraded metal charge pipe. We've got the turbo inlet. We got the down pipe. With the cold air intake.
Thing is
We got the
looking clean
performance
already,
coils,
man.
New spark plugs. We're about to do an oil change real quick. It's a little due. We got the carbon fiber.
I gotta
did the
do my
build
oil
along.
change too.
Really great so far.
I totally
can't wait
forgot
to
about
slap
that.
The new wheels on it. Let's change
On
the
both
oil
my
and then
cars,
tune the car.
actually.
Okay, before we tune this car, because pretty much everything is done, we gotta change the oil. It's well overdue for an oil change. And what better oil than to use Liqui-Moly? Now, Liqui-Moly is our favorite oil to use. Also, the sponsor of today's video. I've always said this in pretty much every single video. The most important thing when it comes to maintenance on a car is doing proper oil changes. The oil goes around every metal component in your engine, protecting that metal on metal action right there. And you want good quality oil. Oil gets dirty over time. So you have to do your oil changes, and you want to make sure you're using the highest quality oil that you could use. That's why I use Liqui-Moly.
Very
so
well
today we're going to be
said.
using the 5W40 oil. Now we're working on a BMW. Liqui-Moly, like Loft High Tech, has the BMW Long Life 01 rating. So this is the proper stuff to put in your car. Now first step, we got to pop off the oil cap. That way it drains a little bit better. I just started up the car, let the engine warm up so that it flows out easier. Pop open the drain plug. So you can see the oil is dark, ready to change. I don't see any big old metal chunks, so I think we're good there. Okay, for this car, it's gonna be 6.5 liters of oil. 5
not
liters
bad.
right here. This will be 6.
The
Then we'll use
Mustang
half
was
of
like
this.
10 quarts.
Let's get the pour in.
Oh my
By the way, I
god, that
already
shit was
just
insane.
changed out the oil filter. Of course, the oil filter
That
is
big old
back
V8.
here. Very fun to do. So a lot of extensions and swivels, but we got that taken care of. So now let's just put in the Liqui-Moly oil. It comes with a built-in spout. Okay, now it's
freaking
time to tune
convenient.
the car, and we're gonna be using MHD. So I got the flasher device plugged in right now. Got the car to the accessory mode. You gotta, you know, close the doors, put the seatbelt on, but this is basically what I'm gonna do, is you go to flash MHD map. Now it's connecting. Okay, we connected. We got the license, so it's going to the B58 maps, which is what this car has. We got stage 0. We got stage 0 plus. We got stage 1, stage 2 high pressure fuel pump, and then we also have the multi-map feature. Now for today we're going to be doing just stage 2. I don't have a high pressure fuel pump right now, so we're going to just do stage 2, but that should give us a significant boost upgrade. So let's click on it. You could do E85, E30, 95 octane, 93, 91. Here in California we got 91, so that's what we're going to be going with, but I could always get higher octane fuel in the future, and we'll definitely be doing E85 at some point. Okay, now we got this. We go to options. We have the ability to really customize certain aspects that we really want. So we got things like exhaust setup you could put in right there, stock downpipes, aftermarket downpipes, remove top speed limiter, course. We want to go as million miles per hour. Increase iDrive power and torque gauges, maximum values. So that's the little thing that tells you the horsepower and torque. We got exhaust burble. You can click that if you want to, you know, have tons of exhaust burbles. Cold start noise reduction, quiet it down on cold start. Exhaust flap always in sport mode, always open in sport mode. So I selected that. In the BMW exhaust that I have now, there's a little flap, a little exhaust valve, and it opens at the higher RPMs. We're making it so it's always open in sport mode. So if I put this car in sport mode, it's always open, which is almost like a little bit of an exhaust cutout. So that's a cool feature. I like that right there. We got the startup roar. You want to really make the car loud when you start up, you could click that. Right here, high pressure fuel pump installed. So you could do OEM or many different types. We're on OEM right now. Injectors, we're on stock right now. These are all things that could easily be changed. You know, that's why you have people out there with 800 horsepower B58s on the stock turbos. Maybe it's 700 on the stock turbos, but it's just crazy amounts of power
700 on stock turbos.
Hold
on.
And, you know, ripping it like crazy. So you got your off-the-shelf maps, which is basically what we're doing here. You can
push
use
that stock
MHD
turbo
with
to its
tuner
limits.
that can give you a custom tune. You know, the sky's the limit with tuning. When you go with more custom parts, you need a much more custom tune. Because we're going with pretty much the basic downpipe tune, all the main bolt-ons. If you want to go full bolt-ons, it works easy. So we got sport cooling mode for intercooler, port injection with meth. So tons of different features in which you can really customize the tune to yourself. But if you want to just basic, easy tune, you don't want to push anything too crazy, they got that too. Obviously, whenever tuning, you want to make sure that the car is on a charger, battery charger, maintainer. You want to make sure that the car doesn't lose any power because the tuning process does take a few minutes. You don't want the battery to die in the middle of that.
It's actually
Otherwise,
really quick compared to
all you got to do, press map
any
right,
other
there we
tuner
go,
I've used.
and now the car
MHD
starts
is
to freak
insanely
out
fast.
and go into this crazy limp mode. That's completely normal. It's part of the process. And before you know it, you're at 100%, and boom, here we are. We've got a tuned B58 BMW. We're ready to smoke every car out on the road because everyone knows the B58 makes an infinite amount of horsepower, and no one can come close to it. So here we go. Let's go drive this baby.
Okay, it's time for new wheels. So let's pull these ones off. Okay, before we put the new wheels on, while we're here, we got this big, ugly caliper in the gray finish. It's actually a really good looking caliper, but it needs some color. And I think that M blue would be great. So we're gonna paint this blue. Very easy, very simple to do. The biggest, most important thing is to properly prep it and tape off everything. That way you don't get blue overspray all over everything else. Let's get to work on that. Okay, about 3 hours of taping off. But a lot of the time and attention going into taping it off. Now we got the spray can. This is just the normal stuff. Caliper paint because it gets hot. Can't use regular paint. And then we'll throw some clear on after if we want to. If it looks good how it is, we won't. If it needs a little bit of shine, we'll throw some caliper clear on it. But let's get to painting. So greatest, cheapest way to just completely transform the look of your cars other than wheels is painting those calipers, especially when you have big ones. If you got the little measly ones, maybe not, but these big, awesome looking calipers, they need a little paint.
I've always wanted to do that, but never actually really attempted to.
So I'm gonna go light.
It does look nice though.
And I could always go and add more coats, so we're gonna go light. We don't want drip marks because it'll look like absolute trash. Just trying to hit all those different angles. As far as the back goes, you know, no one's gonna really see it. I just accidentally got some spray on the knuckle. Oh well, it is what it is. No one will notice unless I take this car to go get an alignment. You can't own a clapped out Beamer without clapping out your calipers. Let's be real. Okay, now that it's got a few coats on it, it's a little bit dry. We're gonna throw some clear on it real quick. That way it has a little bit of shine to it. Protects the paint. Probably should be wearing it if we were wearing a mask. Fine, I don't have too many brain cells left to lose anyways.
Actually looks pretty nice.
Looks pretty good. I mean, this is the most
That's actually pretty
way of doing
nice.
it. Spray painting on the car. You're supposed to take the caliper off. But it actually looks really good. So I'm happy. Nothing's more satisfying than when you're doing a ratchet half-assed job and it actually turns out good. Although I haven't pulled off the tape and seen all the overspray, so
Can't say anything yet. Okay, you can't have a proper build without proper wheels. And we got the V804 VMRs. Once again, VMR hooked us up. We put some of their wheels on the 550 build. They looked great. Now we're gonna be hooking up the 440 build with some Hyper Silver V804s. These are part of the
those are nice
line. They also have a Forge line. What I love about these wheels is that Hyper Silver looks really good on the black cars. They make wheels for Euro, JDM, American Muscle, pretty much everything you want. You know, they have a lot of custom applications for bore sizes. Go check them out, they'll take good care of you. So what I'm gonna do is we gotta take this to a tire shop, get these mounted and balanced. Okay, baby, now for my favorite part of the entire build, the new wheels. So we gotta put these on. As you can tell, we painted the calipers, they dried, they look great in that bluish color. So let's slap these wheels on. Brand new tires as well. Oh, so let's get this on. I really like that silver look with the black of the car, which looks great. Okay, now for one of the most important parts of this entire build. We don't want people knowing that we're rocking a B58 engine. Everyone knows that B58s are king.
B58 is king!
We don't want everyone knowing that. We want people thinking that we got the slowest engine around. So that's why we're gonna be down badging to a 420.
I would've just took it off.
Caliper put this 440 badge on, but they did a terrible job. I mean, it's literally each number and letter is lower than the other. We want it to look actually like factory, not like Michael J. Fox put it on. So let's take this thing off. So all we gotta do is take a finger and just finger it. And they all come off. Definitely did not take them off before this video for dramatic effect. There we go, now we got adhesive. Now, the good news is I know how to get it off adhesive very easily. So thanks to our friends over at G-Technic, we got all the goods. And the tar and glue remover is magic when it comes to adhesive. I don't know what they put in this stuff, but it should probably be illegal because it's so amazing. Okay, so trick number one. We're gonna spray it on and we're gonna let it just kind of sit. I'm only wiping up the part that's dripping. We gotta let it sit and soak for a few minutes. That way when I go to rub it off, it'll come right off. And now it's time to just wipe it off. A little bit of elbow grease, and you can see already it's coming off so easily. Okay, now time to put this on.
That's nice. So might have to
pull back
invest.
right here. Okay, there we go. Unfortunately, the packaging wasn't perfect, so this isn't perfect, but it's a lot better than
Yeah, that
it was
4 is a
before.
lot lower than that
There you
20
go.
i.
That's how it's done.
Those wheels are nice. I could actually see the carbon fiber, especially in the sunlight. Yeah, I can actually see it now. Looks pretty good. That's nice. That's fine.
Okay, here we go. First drive with the new mods. Listen. We still have the mufflers on, so you're not hearing that inline 6, which, to be truthful, I'm not a huge fan of the inline 6 sound, but I do love the turbo noises, and it's perfect because you don't have exhaust droning out the turbo noises. You just hear turbo noises. A little bit of exhaust. You want to know that, you know, you got a combustion engine, but you have those turbo noises partly thanks to the intake, the turbo inlet, you know, the downpipe makes a big difference. So
yeah.
Having those performance mods not only gives you extra power, but it gives you sound. Now, why is sound important? Part of modifying a car, part of all this is for the driver's experience.
Yep.
And, you know,
absolutely. That's why I love the Mustang. regardless
to
of the
me, a
Mustang
huge part of the driving experience
is
is the sound.
faster
That's why electric cars,
or
the great
slower
performance, they just
than a
never
Beamer,
will be the same.
it was just
combustion
it's
engines.
never gonna be the
Because you have
same.
all these cool,
The
unique sounds
loudness
that you
of
get,
that car was insane.
Like turbos and superchargers. Nothing beats a Roots style supercharger, but the turbo noise is pretty damn good. And I'm just barely stepping on it, and you hear it spool up. And if you step on it and let off really fast, you can hear the little very, very quiet. You know, obviously, if we do a turbo upgrade, we're gonna want to make it as loud as possible, so we really hear that little. But for now, just the basic mods that, you know, anybody could do. You know, you just need, you know, screwdriver, basic sockets.
And it's
Anyone
not
in
that
their
expensive
garage,
either.
their
I
driveway
promise
can
it's
install
not
these
that
mods,
expensive.
very
If I could
easily.
do it, you could do it. It's really not that expensive. Minus the wheels. I don't know how much the wheels were, but the downpipe, the
Yeah, car
tune, charge
loves to
pipes,
move.
high pressure fuel
And
pump.
once again, that all-wheel drive packs a
If you're gonna
punch.
do trans
Sure,
tune
when
your
it breaks, it's
XHP
super
tune,
expensive and
it's not
complicated,
expensive at all
But when it's working, it's
compared
great.
to other
Well, there
builds.
you have it,
Let me
guys.
say that.
What a transformation this car has gone through. Aesthetically, I mean, look at how much of a difference wheels make. The carbon fiber looks so much sharper, so much better. And then, of course, all the performance mods. It really took that potential out of the B58, and you feel it when you drive it. It's a feeling that's hard to explain. You just got to get a B58 of your own. And of course, the all-wheel
That's a
drive
fact.
helps make sure that it grips the ground really well. As soon as you put the pedal to the metal, you're flying. Now, it's making good daily driver power now, but the sky's the limit. There's always more you could do. There's always different types of fuel, turn up the boost levels. There's always turbo upgrades, endless possibilities for this car. So let me know down in the comments what you think we should do with it next. So make sure you guys like this video, make sure you guys subscribe, and if you want to help pick out our next project car, you got to join.
Alright guys, I appreciate you guys for tuning in, especially for my first reaction video. Shout out to the Backspeed Boys. Great video. And as you can see, it takes literally nothing, almost nothing, to make 500 or close to 500 horsepower in a B58. Alright, make sure you guys comment, like, subscribe, and I appreciate you guys.